Hi, this is Arya, and now we'll talk about Godmothers. What is it? Why is it? What do we do? And all of that. But to talk a bit about Godmothers, I'll have to first go back to my own story about where I come from, what are the things I've done, and so on. Right? Let me pull up our website. So, in the last 2 years, I led this nonprofit called Rethink, and a particular project that I did was called the Opportunity Project, where my key intention was to help students apply to opportunities. Now, this was a thesis that there are tons of opportunities in the world, but not a lot of students apply or leverage them. And it's not because they are not smart. They're very smart, but it's primarily because of a couple of things. One is lack of awareness. Two is lack of guidance or skill. And three is lack of self-belief, right? And this lack of self-belief is by far the biggest contributor that prevents people from pursuing opportunities, or that's what I've found out, right? In the last 2 years, I did a lot of things in terms of finding good opportunities. So we created a Wikipedia of opportunities and put them all there. We ran several guidance programs, skill development programs. I wrote a book on applying to scholarships. I'm running a podcast on writing scholarship applications and so on. But when it comes to self-belief, I don't know what program to run. So I kept thinking about it, and I felt that self-belief comes from a couple of things. One is the right role models. So you need to see, seeing is believing, right? Like if you see people who have won scholarships, who are doing great in their life, you start to believe that you can too. And especially if it's people who are relatable to you, who are very similar to you, right? Maybe they're from the same place as yours, they went to a similar college and things like that. The second thing that does boost your self-belief is actually winning something, you know. So let's say when it comes to running or walking, the more you walk, the more confident you are about walking. It's like a virtuous cycle, right? So the more scholarships you win, the better your self-belief that you will be able to win scholarships in the future, which is where I always felt that we should do something called as micro scholarships, which are not too big an amount, which is like the scholarship is a small amount still. It's tied to a specific purpose. But by pursuing such an opportunity, the person pursuing it actually picks up a lot of skill and exposure. It aids in their confidence. And if they do end up winning it, then it really boosts their self-belief as to what they can accomplish. So that is where all of this is coming from, right? And when it comes to women especially, the self-belief gap is really, really huge. And there is a need for a sisterhood, women backing women to go ahead and pursue a lot of things. And both of these things are very close to my heart. The inclusion space, anything that has to do with women, and also education or enabling these women to rise to leadership, to do what they want to pursue, right? So that is where Godmothers is coming from. And if you look at it, we are just a bunch of well-wishers, right? Who are the Godmothers? If you ask me that question, we're just a bunch of well-wishers who want to see young women do well. And this is not even a formal registered organization at this point in time, but it's just a very small initiative by a few of us to see how things go. And at some later point, maybe we might even register it. But right now, it's just an experiment to see if something like this would make sense, if it would add value to young women, if it would encourage them to do more, right? And if we can support them in their growth. So one of the ways in which we do this is by setting up something called as a Godmother Fund. Now, I'm a big believer of this pass it on model where, you receive something, you receive help. I believe that you have to pass it on, right? Or that's just where I come from. That is what this Godmothers initiative is based out of. So what the pass it on model does is this. Now, I'll tell you the history of Godmothers as well. Back in 2017, you see this name here, Feba, or Feba, I don't know. So I still get confused. I know her for 3 years, but I still get confused. But anyway, so 3 years back in 2017, I had offered a domain name for Feba, and she set up her own personal website. And since then, I've been helping out a few people like that. But at some point, I felt that, we should just keep this going. Like, I can't always be giving domain names and just domain names. And if I do it alone, I'm limited, right? There's only so much I can do. But if I pull in all these people and get them also involved, we can impact so many more people. So that is how we put together this pass it on model, where one Feba received help from Arya, but now Feba helps, let's say, two others, right? And this person will help someone else. This person will help someone else. And the chain just keeps going, right? And that is what Godmothers Fund is based out of. What we are doing currently is pulling in a small amount from each of our pockets to award 3 scholarships to students. And what we expect is that, each of these scholarships is worth 1,000 rupees. So what we expect is that they pay forward that 1,000 rupees through the Godmothers Fund to someone else, which means they will give us the money back when they can. We do have certain timelines, realistic timelines set. But once they do give it back to us, we will look at running a second round of scholarships where we use that money to award scholarships. And then the cycle just keeps going on, or that's what the theory is, right? Whether it will work or not, we'll figure out. This is an experiment, right? Now, for now, what we are giving is tons of encouragement and support, and also a domain name scholarship, which I will talk about, right? With respect to the pay it forward model, one of the things I'm very particular about is people who are receiving it, they make a commitment more to themselves that they will pay it forward. They will help someone else because somebody helped them, right? And you have to always give to get. You have to pass on whatever you do have so that you can attract something that you want from someone else. So with respect to the domain name scholarship, here's what we do. We're offering the scholarship to 3 young women who are 24 years or younger. Let me just get some tools to draw. So what we do is give you a domain name for your personal website. And this is for people who are between 18 and 24. So even if you're 18, even if you're 24, yes, you can apply. Why this age? Because we just wanted the community to be very curated and not too big and scattered or diverse, right? At this point in time. And then any kind of professionals or students can apply, not necessarily students in tech or women in tech. Yes, we do want that that you be female, and you can apply even if you're pursuing art or media or whatever it is. The application is open forever. There is no deadline for the application, but for this particular scholarship, the deadline is March 8th, meaning whoever applies till March 8th will be considered for this cohort of the scholarships. We will award 3 scholarships, and these 3 are sponsored by Arya, Ruby, and Feba. This time, we're each putting forward 1,000 rupees. So we will sponsor a domain name which is worth maximum of about 700 rupees, and we also have a gift package of about 300 rupees. On that note, let me pull up a gift package. I'm still packing it, but this is how it looks. And we have a bunch of really cool things inside. So we have 2 bookmarks, right? Oh yeah. So this is by far the favorite of most people. And then we also have this bookmark. I love both of them equally. And then there is this card, which will remind you to stay grounded and balanced always. We have a laptop sticker, or wherever it can sticker, which says everything is possible. And we have a very cool notebook, which says you are unstoppable. And inside this notebook is where you can write your wish list, things that you want to accomplish, maybe this year, maybe in your life. You can write your affirmations, things that remind you that you're great, you're awesome day in, day out. Right? So this is a gift package. We will also have a couple more things added to this, and we will be sending it to 3 winners of the scholarship. and we will be inviting them to become a godmother, and they will then pass on uh, financial support towards setting up another scholarship, towards helping 3 others, right? So this is the context of Godmothers, and this is what we do. And when it comes to the scholarship in itself, we expect that you develop a mock website of yours. It doesn't have to be super great or anything, but we do want to see that you've put in the effort. We do want to see that you're serious about this, right? Otherwise, we don't entertain time wasters, just to put it out bluntly, right? We want you to be quite serious if you're pursuing this, and we'd like you to put together a website that talks about you or whatever you want it to be, but we want you to put it out. And we like everything from this conference that we're hosting, or from the emails that we're sending out, the blogs we're writing, everything is sort of to help you create that website, and we want you to do it, right? So anything and everything in our capacity to encourage you to build a website, we will be doing that. And then will we teach you how to build a website? Maybe not, but we have tons of resources and blogs that you can use. We will be putting out more content like this. So in the conference, Annie will be speaking, and she speaks about a lot of these topics, about the power of asking, about owning your accomplishments, right? About crafting your story and things like that, which I think you will find very useful and very interesting. Now, the scholarship, like I said, is open till March 8th, so be sure to apply. The application process is very simple. You have an interest form below, so if you are interested, you can just fill up this form and you'll start getting emails from us. But please note that this is not the final application, right? So to be considered for the domain name scholarship, you will have to fill in the main application form, and I will do a quick walkthrough of that application as well. So I hope my screen is still visible. So this is a form. You can find the link right there on the website. And it's fairly simple. So you need your first name, last name, email address, your gender, whether you're a student, your college, your date of birth. But this is just because we have a criteria for your age. And then a bunch of questions for us to know more about you. If you have a laptop, if you have a phone. So why do we have these questions? Is primarily because we want to know that you are equipped with these things. Otherwise, these are also on our plate, right? We're considering offering scholarships for laptops to get decent internet connection and so on. So we want that insight to be able to grant all of those things for you. And then we have few questions like, as a child, what did you want to become? And you can be absolutely candid here. There is no word limit. Just let us know your story, what you think you've ever wanted to be. You can talk about your aspiration. What do you want to become now? What are you most proud of? And we really want you to talk about your accomplishments without feeling bad about it. And then we have some more details about your personal website. So this is where you will give the link to your personal website, which you've built. Here, but here you will give the reason to build that personal website, like why, what are you looking to include, and so on. And then you have to pick up 2 domain names that interest you. So for me, it's aryamurali.com, but this is my real website. Like if you had some suggestions on which domain names you're interested in, you can put them here. And then you have to go to GoDaddy and check if it is available, and you have to mark it here. And then you have to also list the price of the domain. Same for option number 2, in case option number 1 is not available. And this is just an optional question, but we would love to hear what you've got to say here. Are there any websites that have inspired you? And then we have a very small declaration page where you accept all these things to pass on, to contribute back and to receive emails and all of that. And then you just submit, right? So this is it. This is the scholarship application website. And throughout the conference, we will have a bunch of resources for you to figure out what to put in your website and how to actually create your website with zero or minimal coding. Please make use of this content. Please make use of all our resources and build that website and make your application happen. We would love to read through. We would love to give you suggestions and feedback, and also take home the scholarship and the gifts and goodies and everything and become a godmother, right? Couple more things on the website. We have updates in FAQ where, you know, we have a bunch of questions that keep coming and we've answered them here. We've started sending out newsletters to interested folks. So you can see a copy of all the newsletters we have ever sent here. So here you can also see resources on how to build your website using Mobilize and using Google Sites, which is good enough to start, right? So even if you don't attend the conference, come out here and check out these resources and make use of it. Before we go, let me introduce you to the other godmothers. Well, this is obviously me. This is Feba. She's the first recipient of the scholarship back in 2017. And this is Annie. She is a patron. She will also be speaking at the conference. And this is Ruby. She is also a godmother and she is offering a scholarship this time. Ruby is DGM at Dainik Bhaskar. She's a wonderful person. She's an ex-entrepreneur. Annie is in Microsoft. Feba is in Microsoft. And I'm with Almabase. But we've all taken out some time from our personal lives to contribute to Godmothers and make this happen for you. And we would be thrilled to receive your application. And we really hope that you do. Irrespective of the scholarship, I hope that this initiative encourages you to build your website, to own your narrative, to put your story out there, to make your mark, right? Keep in touch, do stay tuned for the conference. And I would even go on to say that you don't have to attend all the sessions, right? You just attend whatever you want to, whatever you find interesting, and there's no compulsion on you to attend everything. And before we part, this is something interesting that we're trying out. It's called, we're taking a spin on the fairy tales, right? How Cinderella waits for her prince, how she wears a glass slipper and she wants to look good and go to the ball and all of that. We find that offensive, some of us. So we're just changing the narrative. We've given Cinderella a nice blue suit. She looks cool. And then she goes to a hackathon instead of the ball. The prince is not looking for a princess, but he's looking for a co-founder for his startup. A bunch of things happen. And at the end, both of them do partner. Happy ending. They build a startup together, they sell it, make a lot of money, and they live happily ever after in their own lives. Maybe not together, right? So just for the heck of it, we've tried to create a story out of this. But if you do have more such princess stories, you can either change a princess story or you can create a new one. Whatever it be, do share it with us. We would love to read it. We would love to share it with the Godmothers Network. More than applying to a scholarship, I think it's about being a part of the Godmothers Collective. Going forward, we will do a lot more content around all of these things, around women empowerment, about things you can do to advance in your career, more specific topics as well, like salary negotiations, staying safe out there, a bunch of things like that. We do have a lot of things planned for you, and I'd hate for you to miss it. So please do make it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. Stay tuned. Bye-bye. And apply for the scholarship.